build me a house in 48 hours. There's a company that's doing just that. We'll speak with its founder and ask him what his 3D printed homes could do to alleviate America's housing shortage. The second hour of Squawk Box begins right now.
What could 3D printed homes do to help ease America's housing shortage and affordability crisis? The CEO of Alquist has some ideas. He will join next.
All right, welcome back. Your next guest launched a 3D printed home business to fight the affordability crisis. His company, Alquist 3D, completed the first ever owner-occupied printed home in Williamsburg, Virginia in 2021. Look at that, 3D printed. 3D printing is about 15 to 20% cheaper when compared to regular home construction, and perhaps the biggest selling point, houses can be printed in just 48 hours. And they can also be designed to withstand extreme weather. Joining us now with more is Zachary Mannheimer, Alquist 3D founder and chair. Zach, good morning. I mean, okay, Williamsburg, Virginia, I don't know if that's Kings Mill or where that might be, but that is a beautiful home. But what exactly can you 3D print? I'm sure the house has added siding and shutters and things like that. What is is that truly your finished product?
Good morning. Yes, we can 3D print the walls and foundation of a home. There's more of a home that we can print as well, made out of other materials besides concrete. But our focus at the moment is 3D printing the exterior structure of that home so we can get that done faster and more affordably.
Yeah, and I'm watching some videos that you have on your website. I would imagine that when I look at a nation, not just here, but around the world, that has a housing shortage, you can probably be a big part of the solution, because particularly in some emerging markets, there's got to be massive demand for not only well-built to extreme weather, storms, et cetera, but low-cost homes that can be easily replicable.
That's exactly right. And we're seeing the demand from all over the world. I mean, here in America, we've got a housing shortage between 4 and 5 million homes. Globally, that's even much larger. And we here in America are focused on where we live in a country where wealth generation is largely based upon home ownership. We need to get folks back to the American dream of owning a home. And we've gone far away from that for decades. And if there was any weird silver lining to COVID, which of course is a weird thing to say, it's simply that it finally showed a light on how bad the housing crisis actually is, not just in major cities, but in small communities across the country.
Yeah, it certainly is. Median home, we're looking at some of the housing stats. Are your homes built out of concrete? I'm watching the video. It's your 3D printer is just kind of layering. It almost looks like a gigantic tube of toothpaste. What is the material? What are you building this out of? There it is.
We're not using Crest or Aquafresh just yet.
So the house doesn't smell minty fresh?
I'm sure we could do that at some point. But right now, it's a concrete mix. So we use certain additives to make the concrete stronger, to make it lay down faster so that we can print faster. But at the end of the day, this is largely concrete. It's a concrete structure. And we've been building concrete structures around the world for hundreds of years. This is simply a different method of doing it. Instead of pouring it in a form with traditional concrete, we extrude it with a giant robot, which is weird. But otherwise, it's a very similar product as a concrete structure. Now, that tube look that you're seeing, that's what it looks like if we don't touch it. There's a lot of different nozzles that we've designed. You can do different designs for the exterior or interior walls. Obviously, you can paint it, you can dye it. There's a lot of different looks, and that allows for the flexibility of this brand new technology that's just emerging. You know, we've only been 3D printing homes in America for about 5 years. It's still very new. We're at the very beginning, and we discover new things every single day as we do this work.
Zachary, we talk all the time about the housing shortage that's out there. There's also a labor shortage. So when I hear that these 3D homes can be printed in 48 hours, to me that says, it's a good use of labor to be able to, build a home and then move on to the next one. What does the labor picture look like for you all? And is that kind of a fair hypothesis as I think about your business model?
Absolutely. And to me, that's one of the most exciting and overlooked pieces of the 3D printing industry. The workforce development and jobs that can be created out of this industry is enormous. There are thousands of jobs that will be created. Already hundreds of jobs have been. The thing that we've been lacking is experience, is a training program, which is why Alquist, we just moved to Greeley, Colorado, last couple months. That's now our headquarters. And we've partnered with Ames Community College that's going to be launching the first 3D printing curriculum next year to train people. And what's great about this is that this is not a 4-year program. Folks are not going to go into significant student debt just to go through this particular program. Instead, it's going to be anywhere from a 6 to 10-week certificate course. You can take that course without any prerequisite, and then you're going to be certified to become a 3D printer. And companies like Alquist will hire you. There's only a handful of companies today in America doing this work. There's under 20 companies in America doing this work. Most of those companies are manufacturers of the robots or the material. There are a few companies like Alquist that are actually a construction company. And to me, this is a lot like Silicon Valley in 1972. We all know each other. We all, for the most part, play nicely in the sandbox. And we're really working together to build an industry. We want more companies in the marketplace doing this work because we can't possibly keep up with the demand. And the labor piece of this is enormous. When you go to smaller communities, most of the time, the labor that you're challenged to find to help build the home, and one of the reasons why we've got the shortage, is particularly in the framing piece of it. We can't find the framers. They're in high demand. There aren't enough of them. We need to create a better program. This 3D printing world and what we're doing with Alquist is not just helping to lower cost and make homes more sustainable, but it's going to create thousands of more jobs.
Well, really cool story and a much needed thing. And good luck out there in Greeley, Colorado. Zach Mannheimer, appreciate it. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Oh, thank you.